the San Diego Padres baseball game. You see, the crowd responded to Roseanne, but what happened to her?
Oh, good grief.
Yes, well, okay, so that at least perhaps not the best advertisement possible for the Star Spangled Banner. Let's go to George in Chicago. George, you're on the Medved show with Reihan Salam.
Hello, Mike. Hey, Ryan. How you doing? Hello?
Hey, we're on. Hey. You're on. Go.
Okay. All right. You know, I'm a young Republican. I supported Ron Paul in the campaign, in the primary, and I feel like there's no room in the Republican Party for someone who believes in following the Constitution strictly, a libertarian, and believer in essentially a non-interventionist foreign policy, like Mr. Republican Robert Taft. And a lot of people say, oh, Ronald Reagan this, Ronald Reagan that. Ronald Reagan actually campaigned for Ron Paul, so I want to know, is there going to be a home for us, for Ron Paul supporters and libertarians in the Republican Party? And I'll take it off the air.
You know, I think that's a great question because the Ron Paul movement, while not necessarily enormous, was full of energy, full of vitality, because I think that there is a lot of life left in those constitutional ideals. But here's the thing. I think that, you know, given that we're living in the Obama era, I think there is going to be a revival of classic economic conservatism, just the view that government should stick to its knitting, do what it does well, and then leave the rest to private initiative. So I think in that regard, there is going to be a kind of libertarian comeback within the party. But on the non-interventionism matter, I do think that there's a deep disagreement because folks like me basically believe that American strength isn't about bullying other countries or, you know, invading for no good reason. American strength is about actually keeping this world of kind of free trade and relative peace and prosperity going.
Yeah, and by the way, the fact that President Reagan campaigned for Ron Paul, President Reagan campaigned for liberal Republicans as well. He campaigned for all Republicans because he said repeatedly, if you agree with me 70% of the time, you're not my enemy, you're my ally. We'll be right back with our ally, Reihan Salam. 55 minutes past the hour on the Michael Medved Show with Reihan Salam. His book, just out in paperback, is called Grand New Party, and it's provocative and important for all conservatives who would like to see the Republican Party make a comeback and put some brakes on the on-rushing express train of Obamanism. Let's go to Scott in Dallas. You're on the Medved Show with Reihan Salam.
Good afternoon. First of all, playing Roseanne Barr's version of the national anthem just voided the warranty on my GM car's radio. I don't know how I'll ever get it fixed. The immortal Casey Stengel once said the secret to managing is keeping the 5 players who hate your guts away from the 10 who haven't made up their mind yet. A lot of conservatives were infuriated when John McCain wouldn't even fight back with regard to who started all this subprime mortgage mess and never named names. My question is, how do you think that conservatives should, quote-unquote, fight back fairly? Because not enough of it has been done. They've just sort of laid back and taken it, so to speak, and the liberals have had a field day with it. So, number one, how do you fight back fairly, and who do you think the person is who can do that best for the Republican Party?
Ryan, quickly.
That's a great question. I think that it has to not be personal. It has to be about policy. You have to say, you know what, these guys are doing their best, but they're not doing good enough, a good enough job. I think that that's the key thing. When you get personal, you seem nasty, and your points end up getting lost.
Yeah, and I think also using terms like the march to socialism or imposing socialism, that's a turnoff to most people, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's go quickly to Roger in Poulsbo, Washington. You're on the Michael Medved Show. Hello, Roger.
Hello. A great show. I'm reading your book about the 10 lies.
Thank you very much.
It's great.
Thank you.
In this regard, Republicans are too soft. They do not follow up on their word sometimes, like the economy and taxes, and they cave into the Democrats, and they let the Democrats take their good people out, like Gingrich and DeLay, where have we heard anything about DeLay lately now that he's gone? And they let Pelosi completely off the hook when she takes on the CIA and completely castigates them. If a Republican had done that, he'd be gone or she'd be gone by now.
What about that, Reihan Salam?
I think that you make some good points, but I think that not being aggressive enough, I don't think is the Republicans' problem right now. I think that the problem is more they're not very good communicators.
And we have some people who are known to be very good communicators, like Newt Gingrich and Rush Limbaugh, who's one of the best communicators in the world, who have been so effectively demonized by the other side. Look, it's always tough. Peggy Noonan has a great piece about this that ran over the weekend in the Wall Street Journal. For a party out of power, it's tough to focus on one leader. That's why you need to focus on ideas, which is the whole point of Grand New Party. Read the book in paperback for the sake of this greatest nation on God's green earth.